Hello everyone, my name is Yonax and welcome back to another Civilization 5 guide. Today I want to talk about Pantheons. And I'm using the same civilization we used for last time, for my previous guide with the ancient runes. So it's pretty much a continuation of this game a little and a continuation of guide, so I like it like nice chronological. So we have a Pantheon choice and we have a lot of which we can choose. First thing with the Pantheon, it's always good to see what lands do I have, what are good options for me to use. So we have here 1 stone, 1 wheel, 2 cattle, 2 cacao and a horse. And in future we will get in our capital no other resources. And then we can take a look at potential other cities where we want to build. So here we probably will take a city with 4 fish and a wine. Here this was a city with cacao and sugar, some cattle, horses and deer. And here's probably a city as well, I think around here or even here. No, here, because then you have the citrus, which is a unique luxury. So that are like potential cities, and then probably one in the south as well, near the National Wonder. So that's probably, I would probably say a coastal one as well. So we're pretty much sure we're gonna take mostly coastal cities, lots of fish, more cattle, horses and some luxuries and stuff. I think it's always a good consideration. What are you planning to expand to, what you already have? So now let's take a look. So the first one is Ancestor Worship, which gives +1 culture from shrines. So for every shrine you build in your city, you get extra culture. I think this is situational useful. I don't like it that much. But if you go Liberty and have many cities and build everywhere a shrine, then it could give you quite some culture. However, you have to realize, if you don't get your own religion, you probably use your Pantheon in future when the AI conquers your city with a religion. Well, not really conquer, but when they spread their religion to your cities. So you have to take that in consideration. Do you have a good chance to get your own religion, or is the chances not that big and you consider losing the Pantheon anyway and want a really useful one, or do you think in the longer run you get a religion and want to keep it? So if you want to get your own religion, it's useful to try to get one with faith. If you're not, you can get useful one for the beginning and comes from shrines. It's not a good beginning one, it's like middle game. By that time you lose your Pantheon anyway. So I don't like it that much. Faith from Thunder Tiles without forest. Since this one can be situational good if you play like Russia or Maya, when you have lots of tundra around you and some others. But if you don't have star bias for tundra, it's not good. Same for desert folklore. If you have a lot of desert around, in this case we have no desert around, but if you are Arabia or Morocco with the deserts, star bias, or even Egypt, then this can be a really good one. Faithful copper, iron and salt. It's in general quite a good one. So, because you mostly have a couple of tiles with iron in the neighborhood. If you have salt, you want to work it always. So this is a really good tile, because you want to work the salt tile to get faith. Copper a bit less, because it's on a hill giving production, and in the beginning you mostly want food. Where salt gives food and production, you always work the tile. Copper, this has less, and iron as well. But in general, if you have these resources, especially if you have salt, it's a no-brainer. Fate healers 30 HP healed per turn if adjacent to a friendly city. I don't really like it. What's the point on getting your unit healed when you get a game changer? If you really want to heal your unit, just pull it back, bring it back to own borders and heal your unit. 10% faster growth rate from fertility rates. It's good for the beginning. However, it's not as good as you might think, because the 10% growth rate is over your excess food. So since we have 6 pop in a city and we use 2 food per citizen, that means we are using 12 food. We have 18 food, so we have an excess of 6 food. And the fertility rate is a 10% bonus over this 6 food, so 0.6 food per turn. It's not that big. If it was over our total food, it would be really big, but since it's over our excess food, it's very minor. It's less than 1 food per turn. And if you're bigger, it gets more. But by the time it gets really good, you probably lose your religion to someone else. So, it's okay if you don't have better, but there are much better ones. +1 production in cities with population of 3 or higher. Only good if you go Liberty, have many cities, 3 pop, extra production, produce some extra units and conquer. Otherwise, for tradition, not a good choice in my opinion. +1 production from fishing boats. Like for a city here, you get 4 sea resources, so an extra hammer there, that would be quite good. We were planning a city here, this doesn't have sea resources, it doesn't seem to be a good city here. Here seems to be 2 fish, so that is another 2. And you maybe even consider city around in the middle, or here, so that might be 1 fish. Here you have, if you have a city here, 1 fish, 2 fish and a whale. So in this case, it wouldn't be the worst at all. If you put the city here, actually you get 2 fish. In this case, it's actually a decent one. But you need working boats, so that takes a while. You need optics. Actually, you need sailing. You don't need optics. So, it can give you in early game quite some hammers, so that's good. Still, once again, when it's actually really good and you have all your fish and sea resources with workboats, the chance on losing your religion is quite high. Gain fate if you win a battle within 4 tiles of your city. Not my favorite. I think it's really good with the Celts, since Celts have a unique unit, the Chris Swordsman, and if you kill with that unit you get fate. This is one of the reasons why Celts have one of the earliest religions, plus the fate bonus they get from Forest for every city. So as Celts it's possible, not a great one, situational good, and you always need to win a battle within 4 tiles, so it's in a defense way and not offensive. Palace provides +1 yield. It can be good, but this one, it's like Venice it's good for, because you get +1 of everything. But yet again, you really want to get a religion, and it only stocks you on 1 fate per turn, 1 culture, 1 science, 1 hammer, 1 gold. Situational, useful, not great. Culture and fate from each wine and incense. Well, we have 1 wine here, here on top, and we don't have incense at all. Incense is mostly on desert as well. Can be really good if you have a lot of these luxuries. And since there's a building called monasteries in religion, which gives extra resources to if you have wine luxury. In that case, if it's really good. I believe it's incense too, the building. Then it's like double, and culture and faith, I like it. But only if you have the luxuries. +1 happiness from cities with population of 6+, not good at all. You want to get religion, then you can get pagodas. Pagodas give +2 happiness in every city you build it in, which beats this. You get more faith and you get extra stuff from culture, and so not a good option. Food from camps. This can actually be really good for early game. You want to grow your city quickly, and this one makes it possible. We have here cattle and horses, but cattle and horses are pastures. For food from camps you need a lot of deer. If you are playing Russia and the Tundra Fate one is already gone, food from camps from deer is mostly one of the better choices for you. So this means you probably lose your religion, but early on you get some extra growth. So situational good if you don't get your own religion. +2 science in cities with a city connection. Not good. It takes a while before you connect to all cities, like middle game, and by that time you lose your religion. Extra production of ancient and classical wonders. Situational good. If you have marble, the consideration with this, you need at least marble. If you don't, because marble increases the production of ancient and classical wonders as well. You should probably go tradition and get aristocracy for the extra 15% production on wonders. Maybe even play Egypt when desert folklore is gone, or any better ones. And then in the beginning you can compete for some wonders, but on higher difficulties you're that far behind in tax, you're always starting later with the wonders, also behind in workers and population with the bonus the AI get. Situational good. If you really want to get Petra, for example, it could be useful. One with nature, 4 fate from national wonders. Actually, this is a really good one if you have a national wonder close by, like here. But it will mean you need to settle it right away. And this is a tile you want to work right away. 3 food, 2 culture, and then the 4 fate from it. If you have like Uluru, you get 8 fate plus 4 fate from this. It's pretty much instant religion, because if you get like more than 10 fate per turn that early on, the chances of getting religion is extremely high. If you don't get one, that's almost impossible, but you still can get a late one. So yeah. It can be really good if you have more than one national wonder. Then it's a no-brainer. For one national wonder, depends if you want to settle it. In our case, we want to settle it. Stone Circus, for example, is gone already, so fate from that is not an option. We don't have a luxury for fate. And gold we won't settle anytime soon anyway. So in our case I would really consider this one. Then we have +1 culture from Plantation. Good early game, get extra culture, get some extra policies early on running. But you lose your religion. So only for early game. Religious idols, get culture and faith from gold and silver. If you have gold and silver, it's a really nice one, but only 1 gold is not enough. You want at least 2, 3, 4 of these luxuries. So I like it when you have the luxury. Extra border growth, it's not a good one. If you have tradition, your border will grow fast enough. especially as shown here where you get 8 extra tiles, it's really useless for other ones. If you go Liberty and there are no good ones left, it can be good early game to get some extra tiles in your border, grow a bit more. Other than that, not really. +1 happiness from cities on rivers. This one is a lot better than, for example, Goddess of Love, because you need 6+ population, and where you get this one instant for a city on river. If you go Liberty and settle all the cities on rivers, you get instant happiness, means you can early on claim your lands, and therefore it can be a good situational. You probably will lose your religion though. Then we have Sun God. Sun God is actually quite good, because banana situation you have a lot citrus, luxury, and wheat. You love working wheat as well. So this one, Sun God, can be really good to get religion. I think it's better than food from camps or fertility rights, since this was only excess food, which gives in our current calculation 1 food. Whereas if you have like banana, citrus, wheat, in our current situation it's not good. But if we would have a city here, we already have 1 food. And if you find banana here, and maybe we'll get a city here to work this one with the gold and banana, we already get an extra food, which already beats fertility rights. So situational good, in our case not the best. And then fate for each gems and pearls. Yeah, when you have the luxury it's a good one. When you don't take it. There are 4 more, because of course some other AI already took a Pantheon. You have culture from pastures. It was one I was considering as well, for the cattle and horses, since I have quite some of them. Since it's gone, it's not an option. 30% increased in city range combat strength. This one is really highly prioritized by AI. They almost take it first or second. So it's really good. Culture from pastures. Actually, as Attila, it's especially good because you want extra pastures for extra production, plus the extra culture then. For Attila it can be really good. So that's a situational way where it should have some extra consideration. So yeah, combat strength can be useful to defend yourself. But I prefer to get extra fate, culture, happiness or anything else. Culture from jungle tiles for the AIs like Aztecs and Brazil who start on jungle. Brings a lot of culture in the beginning, especially if you work them. Jungle style is mostly a slow start, plus this culture can make up for it, finishing your tradition faster and giving you extra growth. So it's a one where your religion will probably be taken over. Then fate from chorus is actually really good, because if you have stone, like we have here, there's stone, but marble as well. Everything with masonry or quarry, so stone and marble, gives extra fate. If you have like 2, 3, at least 3, then definitely worth it. 2, you could consider it. And these tiles, stone you always want to work because it has 2 food, and since every population uses 2 food, you want some extra production with it, so on hammer, plus the 2 fate then. So that is actually a good one. So that's my explanation, which one I consider good and not, depending if you keep your own religion or you gain from someone else. In our case, since culture from pastures is gone, we don't have a good fate from religion. I'm going for fate from natural wonders, because our next city will be around this one, now for sure. Probably here, getting 3 sea resources, stone, natural wonder, horses and sheep. We could consider it here as well. Probably even a better spot. As much as I like canal cities, this gives extra resources here, horses, sheep. Still coastal, still good. So yeah, but that's our guide for Pantheons. I thank you for watching. I hope it was learnful. I hope you learned something from it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.